31 suspected criminals
stealing, assaulting of officers as firearms.
Today we have 31 suspects that engages in different nefarious and criminal acts.
Speaking on the development, the corps commander Adetunji Adeleye said the suspects were arrested from across the 3 senatorial districts of Ondo State. According to him, the corps is working in line with the directives of the state governor Lucky Ayedatiwa that the state must be free from criminal activities.
The government is resolute in its determination to ensure that investors, farmers, and residents, commuters can do their businesses unmolested. You will recall that in the last 3 months, we've been on this. So we want to reassure the good people of Ondo State that Ondo State security-wise is intact. We will continue our 24-hour patrol, continue to track all criminals from the cities to the forestry reserves and ensure that travelers can go unmolested. A cross-section of the suspected criminals we have here today would show that there is a serious decline in the number of kidnappers, suspected kidnappers in the state. However, until the last of them is arrested and made to face the full weight of the law, all security agencies in the state will not relent.
He also informed that as part of efforts to secure the state and its environs, about 100 officers are currently in Ekiti State in search of recently kidnapped victims as ordered by Governor Ayedatiwa.
We've been there in the last 48 hours. Some arrests have been made and will continue until the perpetrators of such dastardly acts are fished out. So I want to reassure the good people of Ondo State that there is no problem, the state is safe, they can continue their businesses, but they have a duty, and the duty is to report any suspicious movement to us on time. In the state, we have a sudden upsurge of visitors coming from different parts of the country in the name of hunting. The state government had made it clear that anybody that would carry out any activity in the forestry reserve must take permission from the state. Let us know you are here, and let us know you are here, you are in the forest for good reasons.
Mr. Adeleye reaffirmed the continued working relationship with other sister agencies to rid the state of criminal activities. He advised federal government to assent to state policing across the nation to curb criminality threatening the existence of the country. The suspects are expected to be charged to court at the completion of investigations. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
And now we'll move to the foreign scene. EU leaders have agreed on a $54 billion aid package for Ukraine. Hungary dropped its veto threat during a meeting of member states in Brussels. As the summit was taking place, farmers were blocking roads around the EU capital. They want to draw attention to their protest against rising costs and cheap food imports. Obichukwu Mekapoti has the detail.
Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán was under pressure as he arrived at an EU summit in Brussels, having vetoed a more than 150 billion financial aid package for Ukraine in December. Other EU leaders were determined not to allow him to scupper the deal again.
I can't understand, I can't accept this very strange and very egoistic game of Viktor Orbán. And there's no room for compromise on our principles like rule of law, and for sure there's no room for compromise on Ukraine question.
In no mood to make any more concessions to Erdogan, who is a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, a selected group of EU leaders took the Hungarian Prime Minister aside before the summit. Some EU politicians had previously suggested Budapest's voting rights could be taken away or all EU funds frozen unless Hungary backed the deal. Not long after the meeting, the aid package, which includes military assistance, was approved.
These 50 billion euros for 4 years also send a very strong message to Putin, just ahead of the second anniversary of his brutal invasion.
Ukraine's president, who had attended the summit, virtually welcomed the news.
This is a clear signal that Ukraine will withstand and that Europe will withstand.
While EU leaders had resolved one problem, another one was brewing on their doorsteps. Hundreds of farmers from European countries, including France, Italy, and Belgium, angry over EU environmental rules and foreign competition they say is destroying livelihood.
This European Union for 70 years pushed us into becoming very big farms, and all these oversized farms today, they're polluting. And now they're criminalizing us and saying that this is our fault. The message we have for the European Union is that they caused this disaster and that they have to bring us the solutions.
Impossible to ignore, EU leaders said they discussed farmers' concerns. They also said they talked about situation in the Middle East but came to no conclusion. It was clear that on a day when the bloc could manage to come together, there was little appetite for other crises to overshadow the display of unity.
In sport, the Super Eagles of Nigeria has qualified to the semi-final in the ongoing African Cup of Nations AFCON 2023. The success
Moses Simon gets away from his man and he squares it to Lukman. And the Atalanta man makes no mistake. First time finish under the crossbar. Nigeria head into the locker room up 1-0. Nigeria head into the locker room up 1-0.
And that concludes the news tonight. So before we go, we bring you just one major story. We told you that Governor Aiyedatiwa has assured of all-inclusive administration towards achieving human and society development. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. All we'll say. And of course, we'll be saying congratulations to the Super Eagles of our dear country. So, thank you very much. Good night.